All who live to a good old age have a genius for sleep.
A government is just only when the whole people share equally in its protection and advantages. Among the clergy we find our most violent enemies, those most opposed to any change in woman's position. Because man and woman are the complement of one another, we need woman's thought in national affairs to make a safe and stable government. Come, my conservative friend, wipe the dew off your spectacles, and see that the world is moving. Dress loose, take a great deal of exercise, and be particular about your diet and sleep sound enough. The body has a great effect on the mind. Human beings lose their logic in their vindictiveness. It has taken the whole power of the civil and canon law to hold woman in the subordinate position which it is said she willingly accepts. It is impossible for one class to appreciate the wrongs of another. It requires philosophy and heroism to rise above the opinion of the wise men of all nations and races. In youth our most bitter disappointments, our brightest hopes and ambitions, are known only to ourselves. In a word, I am always busy, which is perhaps the chief reason why I am always well. I poured out the torrent of my long-standing discontent and I challenge them to do and dare anything. I would have girls regard themselves not as adjectives but as nouns. I am always busy, which is perhaps the chief reason why I am always well. Love is the vital essence that pervades and permeates, from the center to the circumference, the graduating circles of all thought and action. No privileged order ever did see the wrongs of its own victims. Nature never repeats herself, and the possibilities of one human soul will never be found in another. Nothing strengthens the judgment and quickens the conscience like individual responsibility. Our pathway is straight to the ballot box, with no variableness nor shadow of turning. Progress is the victory of a new thought over old superstitions. Put it down in capital letters. Self-development is a higher duty than self-sacrifice. Reformers who are always compromising have not yet grasped the idea that truth is the only safe ground to stand upon. So long as women are slaves, men will be knaves. To think that all in me of which my father would have felt proper pride had I been a man, is deeply mortifying to him because I am a woman. To throw obstacles in the way of a complete education is like putting out the eyes. To make laws that man cannot, and will not obey, serves to bring all law into contempt. The history of the past is but one long struggle upward to equality. The woman is uniformly sacrificed to the wife and mother. The right is ours, have it we must, use it we will. The primal work in every country, for its own safety, should be the education and freedom of woman. The great lesson that nature seems to teach us at all ages is self-dependence, self-protection, self-support. The great fault of mankind is that it will not think. The prolonged slavery of women is the darkest page in human history. The happiest people I have known have been those who gave themselves no concern about their own souls, but did their uttermost to mitigate the miseries of others. The best protection any woman can have is courage. The heyday of woman's life is the shady side of 50. The desire to please those we admire and respect often cripples conscience. The Bible and the Church have been the greatest stumbling block in the way of women's emancipation. The more I think on the present condition of women, the more I am oppressed with the reality of their degradation. Think of the inconvenience of vanishing as it were from your friends and correspondence 3 times in one's natural life. There would be more sense in insisting on man's limitations because he cannot be a mother than on a woman's because she can be. Truth is the only safe ground to stand on. We cannot accept any code or creed that uniformly defrauds woman of all her natural rights. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal. Woman's discontent increases in exact proportion to her development. Woman will always be dependent until she holds a purse of her own. Womanhood is the great fact in her life. Wifehood and motherhood are but incidental relations. Whatever oppressions man has suffered, they have invariably fallen more heavily on woman. When we consider that women are treated as property, it is degrading to women that we should treat our children as property to be disposed of as we see fit.